news.
Look, LeBron is a huge baby. The only reason that his son is in this position right now is because his dad demanded that he be put in the league. He's not ready to be in the league. And that's just a fact. I mean, anybody can watch the game and know that. That's number one. Number two, Stephen A. Smith is well within his rights to criticize this. Number three, and I just want to make a political point. If Stephen A. Smith expects to be the president of the United States, which it sounds like he does expect to be that someday, he's going to have to tighten up and toughen up a little bit. When I heard him talk about this morning, I heard someone who'd been backed down a little bit, who had been sort of cowed a little bit by LeBron James. Brother, if you run for president or become the president, you're going to have a lot tougher conversation with a lot more important people. So toughen up and stand by your criticism. But I think in this case, LeBron James, huge baby.
Carrie, what's your...
There's always a woman that's like, no, what? Like, but look, what he was saying about Stephen A. Smith, that is actually kind of funny. About Stephen A. Smith does do a lot of complaining, so I thought that was kind of funny. But Scott Jennings has really made a name for himself. We're going to look at a few clips, and I'm going to give you some Scott Jennings news and what's really going on with CNN.
This guy just to thank Donald Trump and his orders. That's waste, fraud, and abuse. Not to mention the $400 million going to Elon Musk for his Cybertrucks. This is the waste, fraud, and abuse in America. It's not because of the federal workers doing their jobs. It's because Donald Trump is self-dealing.
Scott's rolling his eyes. Why?
Can I answer that? I just wanted to answer the criticisms. Number one, the Cybertruck deal you mentioned was made under Joe Biden and canceled by Donald Trump. Number two, if I may comment on the Los Angeles situation,
not that,
because
this
hasn't been.
It's actually, that is true. I am very critical, but that is true. Why? How are you just going to say that's not true?
Been covered. I wrote about it for the Los Angeles Times this week. Actually, the Trump administration and the state of California are working incredibly closely together, and the EPA under Donald Trump has completed the phase 1 cleanup in the wildfire zone in Los Angeles in a record 29 days. The estimates were it was going to take 18 months, but this is the cleanup of the hazardous material that you have to do in order to start rebuilding. 29 days. So all this idea that there's photo ops and waste and fraud and whatever, and that Donald Trump was going to abandon California and LA, the EPA under Donald Trump, 29 days. So actually, there's quite a bit of confidence in government breaking out because Donald Trump's now the president.
That he wasted.
So what?
This guy.
He's talking about water wasted. You know what? That's good. If they got it done in 29 days, listen, that's how that should be. I'm not going to sit here, even no matter how critical I am of this administration, and you guys know I am, and I feel like I always have to say that, but it's just because my integrity with you guys, like, I really, really am grateful to everybody who watches these videos. You have no idea. But coming back to the point, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. I am very critical of this administration because I'm not one of these people who are going to be like, oh, Trump won, so everything is okay. I can go talk about other things now. No, I live here. This is my country. And there's a lot of people around Trump who I don't trust. That said, EPA cleaning things record time 29 days. That's really good. That's really good. And these are the type of facts that were hard to make back in the 2017, 2018 CNN era. You know how I know? Because I never saw headlines like this of Trump doing anything good on CNN. This is how they have him for years, thinking that he was like the worst thing for America until the final year. I couldn't even enjoy the first Trump administration because the first Trump, presidency term, because I was busy taking in all of the headlines like, oh, Trump bad, or whatever. And then it wasn't until 2020 when I was like, hey, wait a second. I think I kind of like it here the way it is. And I don't want him to go. I wish he would have got that second term right after the first one because it would have been, a lot better. It would have been a lot better. But, anyway, that's just another story for another day. So yeah, we still have, so we'll look at another clip that Scott has for us. And I have some update on what is going to happen with Scott Jennings in CNN.
And I think what Elon Musk has accomplished so far is starting a big conversation in this country about why the government is so large and why it costs so much money to operate. As long as those cabinet secretaries keep that in mind, that the American people want this conversation to go on, I think it's going to be just fine. So I have no concerns about this, and I'm not really surprised at all that the White House and the cabinet secretaries are having adult conversations with each other. Well, number one, the American people are giving Donald Trump a net positive job approval right now. Number two, according to reporting from our own Harry Enton at CNN, the American people also appreciate and want this effort by DOJ. So the idea that there's some mass uprising about the concept of hey, let's look in and find the waste, fraud, and abuse, is totally false. And number three, it is completely normal for the President of the United States of any time, of any party, to hire advisors to work with his government to meet the president's objectives. One of the president's objectives is, hey, can we operate the government a little more efficiently, maybe make it a little smaller? I mean, look what's happened in the last 5 years. In 2019, we spent about $4.5 trillion. Today, we're spending about $6.5 trillion. The government is much more expensive and much more expansive than it was just 5 years ago. It costs a lot of money to operate. And the question all Republicans have is, does it have to be this big, and does it have to cost this much money? It's a legitimate question, and I'm glad Trump and Elon and the cabinet secretaries are talking about it.
I want to reconcile the idea of the premise of trying to stop waste, fraud, and abuse as a goal, which I think is universally lauded.
It's universally lauded, but then when you try to do it, it's universally opposed by every Democrat and every person that's got a specific piece of the pie in Washington, D.C. I mean, everybody says, oh, I want to do this. And then when it comes down to actually doing it, nobody actually wants to do it. So they show up and say, no, we're going to actually do it. The American people want them to do it, and they are finding things, and they need to do it. And the other thing they need to do, honestly, is build a presentation and go to Capitol Hill and talk to the Congress about what they're doing and get buy-in from the Congress and also tell the American people. That would be the...
He's right about that point. And I'm glad he made that point. See, I like when I hear Scott speak. He does calm me down a little bit. The thing is that, again, like, I'll tell you this. I don't trust Elon Musk. I'm sorry. Once you gave the president that much money to have access, and you're getting it, I do have a problem with it. I do. But, and I'm not going to act like I don't. However, in premise, the theory, not theory, but the idea of going in and find out what are we doing, let's slash. I'm down with that. Like, I'm completely down with that. And just a little bit more of communication with the people would be better. There's not a mass uprising of people getting mad about Doge. There are some people asking questions, but of course, the other side, Democrats are, a lot of times when people are like arguing the other side of a conversation, they tend to go too far. So then they miss the whole point. They say there's mass uprisings over Doge. I'm assuming that's what somebody said. There's not mass uprisings over those. So now everything is lost in the wind because now you just look like a liar. What you should say is people are starting to ask questions and Republicans better have the right answers. That's all. Then it becomes, the people can hear that and say, hey, you know what? He's right about that. He sounds rational. But if you're trying to make it seem like anything else, you lose the point. And then Scott wins all the time.
The next evolution of this. So no, I don't see any disconnect here. The disconnect is, all politicians say they want to do it. Only Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to do it, and that's why everybody in Washington is up in arms.
Some unelected outsider coming and telling us how to run our departments. Every American should be upset by this.
It was a pleasure.
Well,
to
Joe
hear
Biden
this
was on the ballot one
conversation.
time, and I don't think he ever ran the country for one single day, Keith. So if
I
you're
knew
worried
that was
about unelected
coming.
people running the country, let me introduce you to the Biden-Harris administration.
Well, I mean, if we want to talk about people running the country, let me introduce you to, the lobbyists. Okay, I'll give you guys a break for now. So I'm gonna tell you what's going on with Scott. So we have it here. New York Post reporting on there's gonna be massive advertisements coming. Get ready, guys. Here it comes. Oh my God! And then when this happens, I can't. I become completely Haitian. I'm just like, I don't know how to work the television. Okay, all right. CNN to hand pro-Trump pundit Scott Jennings big pay raise as part of New Deal reports. CNN on the verge of finalizing a lucrative new contract for conservative commentator Scott Jennings, a move that demonstrates the left-leaning network's recognition of his growing influence and appeal among supporters of President Trump, according to a report. Jennings, a veteran political strategist and respected voice in Republican circles, whose analysis serves as a counterweight to the network's often left-leaning discussion, is set to receive a substantial increase, according to the Status newsletter. The specific terms of Jennings' reported compensation boost couldn't immediately be learned. And they shouldn't be, whatever. The new contract for Jennings, who has mentioned his possible candidate to succeed retiring Senator Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, is a testament to, I would actually vote for him. I would. I would vote for him. Is a testament to his growing popularity among Trump supporters on social media who routinely post clips of his, yes, we do, contentious interactions with co-panelists. Jennings is reportedly keen to getting CNN to allow him to do his own show, either online or television, but management did not agree to the request. Yeah, it's better for him to. Yeah, you have to know. I'm glad they didn't. I'm sorry. I don't think he should host the show. I'm not saying he couldn't host the show. I'm saying it's better to have him right there in the ring and to shut people down. That's what people like to see. Nonetheless, he was able to get a hefty raise from CNN, as he should. I said this yesterday. I said that. I was like, I said they better be giving that man a raise because he's the one holding it up because, CNN, look at this, all this stuff. CNN could have turned into MSNBC. Earlier this year, CNN announced approximately 200 layoffs, equating to about 6% of its workforce as part of a strategic shift towards digital operations. Similarly, NBC News has implemented a smaller scale reduction. Yeah, like a lot of these places, people stopped watching. But meanwhile, CNN continues to struggle to attract viewers. I think that whatever segment that Scott Jennings is on, people are watching that, but they're probably not watching the rest of CNN. I don't know, I can't say that they need to find their other Scott Jennings, but they just need to have, it cannot always be just one-sided. It just can't. Since we're doing biased news, it should just not be one-sided all the time. Thank you.
I want to talk about the former White House aide, Omarosa.
Just so y'all know, this is from a long time ago. Scott Jennings has been on CNN for a minute. And this will forever be my favorite clip with Scott Jennings, and he doesn't even say a word. Like, let me see if I can't bring it to...
I want to talk about the former White House aide, Omarosa. Manigault knew.
It's Black History Month. We got to talk about Omarosa. All right. I'm just saying, look, it is Black History Month, okay?
You guys.
Carter G. Woodson did not go to the mat to get Negro History Week that eventually turned into Black History Month for us to talk about Omarosa on her apology tour and her attempt to salvage her reputation on a reality television show. Not during Black History Month, guys. These are the facts. Scott, you gonna back me up?
All right, sorry. The guys in the studio
I'm
now.
not.
I want to talk about the former White House aide, Omarosa. Manigault knew.
It's Black History Month. We got to talk about Omarosa.
I mean, this is before the day. But the thing is, he would have been on his side. He'd have been, because Omarosa was a mess. My God, remember that first Trump administration? Omarosa was a mess. Like, Trump had just like anybody coming up in there. But yeah, this is always my favorite clip with Scott. Even I know he doesn't say anything, but it's like this is a young Scott Jennings who's still feeling the waters. Like, not sure, should I go in? Should I not? She tagged him in, but they never go to the clip always stops right there. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.